What is going on, guys? Kryptonic's back. Today I'm starting a series on my channel called Back on Duty. Now this series we're going to talk about some old video games and my personal experiences and memories on them. And today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's get started. So how this is going to work is we're going to be talking about in order the three core game modes of Call of Duty. Campaign, multiplayer, and co-op, which in this case is Extinction. Call of Duty Ghosts campaign lets us take control of Logan Walker, who is running for safety with his brother Hesh from Odin, which is a space weapon that is hacked by the Federation, which is the military group that you're fighting through most of the campaign. After this prologue, we get a 10-year time jump, and it shows that Logan and his brother Hesh are now in the military and helping fight the Federation. After doing some snooping around with the help of Riley, Hesh and Logan's dog, and fighting some groups of Federation, you end up meeting two men, which end up being ghosts, named Mirik and Keegan. Mirik and Keegan then inform you that there's a nearby Federation outpost where their man Ajax, another ghost, is being held. Mirik, Hesh, Keegan, and yourself go to Ajax in hopes to save him at this outpost. Ajax sadly dies, but then you are informed that your home base is being attacked by the Federation. You go back to your home base with Hesh, looking for your father Elias Walker. Now, Elias doesn't end up being there, but you end up getting attacked by a Federation soldier. But, in the nick of time, a ghost flies down from a helicopter and saves you. This ends up being Elias himself, revealing to his sons that he himself is a ghost. Elias informs you of a man named Rourke, who used to work and be with the ghosts. He explains how Rourke had to be left behind during a mission in Caracas to save the rest of his squad. In this time, the Federation ends up capturing Rourke, torturing him. Rourke eventually becomes very much immune to a lot of things the Federation are doing, and ends up leading the Federation. The rest of the campaign shows Hesh, Logan, and the rest of the Ghosts' trials and tribulations towards defeating Rourke and the Federation themselves. Now, after the final cutscene and credits, Logan actually gets dragged off by Rourke in one last cutscene with Hesh screaming his name. Now, we don't know what happens to Logan or Hesh or Rourke even after this cutscene, but who knows, maybe we'll get a sequel in the foreseeable future. Now, as for my personal opinions on this campaign, I really did like it. I enjoyed playing it, and the missions themselves were fun, a lot of them. There was only a very few times where I ever felt like annoyed or not, I guess you'd say immersed into the campaign or the missions and a lot of these missions, like for example Federation Day, which is the mission you're seeing on the screen now, is probably one of my favorite missions in not just Call of Duty Ghosts, but Call of Duty in general. This mission brought to me a lot that other Call of Duties didn't, like environmental stuff, like rappelling on buildings, for example, in this mission, Federation Day. Rappelling on a building is something that we never did in Call of Duty, and to me it was like really cool and interesting. A lot of people kind of disregarded, this campaign and this game in general, really. But, in my opinion, this campaign was great. It obviously doesn't, rival something like Modern Warfare 1 or 2 or 3, or even, let's say, like Black Ops 2, in my opinion, would be better than Call of Duty Ghosts. But still, COD Ghosts, in my opinion, is pretty high up there in campaigns we've gotten. Obviously, the classics, like I said, are going to stay at the top, but Call of Duty Ghosts, in my opinion, was a great campaign and innovated on a lot. They brought new environmental things to us, like things we could do in the campaign in different kind of settings that we weren't, that weren't brought to us. And, I remember, for example, I'm going to talk about this mission, Federation Day. I remember sitting down and playing this mission for the first time when I got Call of Duty Ghosts on the 360, and I loved the hell out of this mission. I loved stealth missions in not just Call of Duty games, in like any game pretty much. Like, I like a good stealth mission, like just sneaking around, not being seen, doing like weird, like different stuff, and it's cool to me. I like, kind of the stealth aspect, and I really enjoyed playing through this mission again for this gameplay, actually, because it just brought back so many like just nostalgic memories of me playing this game, and and just this mission and the campaign, and just different things around that time that happened during when I was playing Call of Duty Ghosts. And personally, I hope this campaign gets a sequel, because I want to know what happens, even regardless if the continuation is whatever, or good or bad, or I would just want to know what happens, and what Infinity Ward would want the story to be like after, because every cliffhanger I've ever seen in my life, I'm always want to know what happens regardless of what it is. And personally, I feel like Infinity Ward could make a good sequel to COD Ghosts, because I feel like they've learned a lot from their mistakes from Ghosts and Infinite Warfare. So I feel like a lot of their mistakes they made, they can learn upon and kind of give us a good sequel to COD Ghosts. And I mean, considering Ghosts was the last boots on the ground Call of Duty game before like just the train of exo movement in Call of Duty, I feel like Call of Duty Ghosts was a fairly good game to kind of end off on that kind of boots on the ground thing. Personally, continuing on, in my opinion, Advanced Warfare is a decent Call of Duty game, but that's besides the fact. But, just this campaign, I had fun playing it. It was fun. I mean, the story was there. I felt the characters, and all I can say is I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the campaign. Like, everything about this campaign I enjoyed. It was nice. But, yeah, so now we're going to move on to the multiplayer of Call of Duty Ghosts. So, let's go. Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, for me, was very refreshing. It was different. It was new. And it had a different feel to what Call of Duty had given us before. And, I think that Infinity Ward tried to push the realism in Call of Duty for the multiplayer side. I don't necessarily think they were going for necessarily Battlefield tier realism, obviously. They wanted to still keep Call of Duty fun and arcadey, but, with a bit more realism added in to try and, satisfy everybody's cravings for what they want in an FPS game. And I think they did it relatively well. Now, when I think of Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, I think of, the innovation, like the things they tried to do to make the game fun and unique. And the first thing that pops into my head is the interactable events and things you could do on the maps. Like, on Stonehaven, you can shut some of the doors on Stonehaven to kind of block off parts of the map. On Octane, you can open up the crate in the middle of the map and get a free supply drop. On one of the maps, you can move around some garbage cans, and walk with them as cover. Just different kind of cool things like that you can kind of do on the maps, give maps a whole different feel, and it's, it feels refreshing and nice. Especially when there's a lot of people who, let's say somebody doesn't know about these things, and when they figure it out, they have like a whole new perspective on it, even the map kill streaks, like the specific map kill streaks, like on the map Fog in DLC 1, the really big one was Michael Myers. Now, I remember sitting down watching YouTube. This was back when I actually used to watch Ali A, and I saw his video saying that Michael Myers was in the map, was in Call of Duty. And this was one of the big reasons I, figured out about DLC, because at the time, I didn't even know that there was downloadable content for stuff, because I had, just gotten a 360. I was never really into, the new games. I never really, had a 360 or a PS3. I was still playing, the previous gen consoles, but I was having fun. But when I figured out about downloadable content, I was like, okay, there's more that I can explore on these games. There's more I can add to Black Ops 2, to Ghosts. and I can do more stuff. And the big reasons, as I said, was these kill streaks. And like, as like, just like Michael Myers in DLC 2, they had the Predator, and in like DLC, I think it was like 4, they had like some abominable snowman, and there was like the Extinction aliens, and you could get the Venom X in one of the maps from Extinction, and it was just like, there was really cool, just like Easter eggs and different kill streaks that made the map so fun and interactive. And they're a big reason, like I said way too many times by now, that I wanted to buy these DLCs, were these special kill streaks. Go on to see what was going on and what was cool with them. And all I can say is that I had like way too much fun with COD Ghost multiplayer, especially with the kill streaks and just messing around with friends in public or in private matches and stuff, and just having a lot of fun, which is sadly something that kind of, at least to me, it's not like you don't see it a lot, in multiplayer. Now it's just kind of a, at least to me, it seems like it's just a sweat fest where people are trying to like use the most broken stuff to get as much XP and as much levels, and all their challenges and camos and stuff. And it's like I wish people would just kind of kick back and just kind of like, I don't know, let's just like have a laugh, like just do something completely stupid in a public multiplayer match and have fun with it, just kind of like, just chill, just have fun. And that's what I did with COD Ghost, man. COD Ghost multiplayer was awesome, and I loved it. Being brought into Call of Duty basically through zombies, and getting to know Call of Duty by playing zombies first before multiplayer or campaign is, it's kind of a different perspective. I feel like it's a different kind of thing, because I feel like a lot of people, they play Call of Duty and they play a campaign first or multiplayer first rather than zombies. And through playing zombies first and kind of going back and, experiencing all the old zombies maps, and then directly after experiencing all those, seeing this Extinction come out and, just kind of like try and make its own identity, was just amazing. I felt like, personally, I feel like going back and experiencing everything in such a short period of time, even though it was a short period of time, I kind of understood everything about zombies and how the zombies players reacted to Extinction. And, Extinction for me was great. It was just this perfect brainchild of Infinity Ward wanting to make zombies players happy without them basically just rehashing Treyarch zombies. And it is beautiful. Extinction is a very fun game mode, at least for me. Like, and me and my friend group of people, my small friend group of people, we love Extinction. Like, just Extinction is, I can't say enough about it. Just there was a lot riding on Extinction, I would say. Like, just the differentiation between the two modes, zombies and Extinction, is, they did a good job. Like, they have the base mechanic in zombies, it's rounds, and the rounds in Extinction are hives. So you put the drill, you take the drill around, put it in a hive, and you do that wave of aliens, and you defeat all the aliens, protect the drill, and you continue on, and just the game mechanics are beautiful. Like, and you have you have like a sort of perk system with like your abilities. You have you can have like a riot, like like ammo or armor and stuff, and then different, like 2 equipment slots basically, and and like the leveling system was pretty good as well. But in the story was so good, in my opinion. The story, you start off in the Point of Contact as a prologue. Point of Contact is a very good map for Extinction. It started things off very simple and very well and very awesome, and it was a good overall start of Extinction. And it kind of brought you like, this is what's happening, this is where things are going. And the DLC blew Extinction out of the water, in my personal opinion. DLC 1, Mayday, was great. I remember my first time actually playing that map, I beat it in one try, surprisingly, and I was like, oh, okay. But just like the boss on that map, I forget the name of it, I think it was the Breeder or something. That boss, I remember seeing it for the first time and being like just shocked. It was so amazing. And and they added new things like new weapons and new upgrades in the lockers, and different things you could do. And then they introduced the Venom X, which is like a grenade launcher, if you guys don't know. And and then DLC 2, they had the ship, and you could upgrade the Venom X in like 4 different ways that were unique, like electric, fire. There was one that shot like little alien pods that like shot stuff, and then just the regular acid one. And there was different traps and stuff you could use, and just the maps progressed to be really, really damn cool. And DLC 3, I feel like Extinction kind of, during DLC 3, it was kind of this weird point where it's like they kind of dropped the ball, to be honest. Like the map, DLC 3's map was cool, but I don't know, like they added some new aliens, like some flying aliens and stuff, and I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on DLC 3. Like it was like the story was kind of still progressing and stuff, but it kind of was like it's kind of like they stopped like having ideas. It's not necessarily like, I've heard people say they stopped caring about Extinction, but I don't think that at all. Personally, I just think they were kind of running out of ideas. Like they put so much time and effort into the first 3 maps, and they were kind of like, well, what do we do here? And DLC 4 for Extinction was cool. They added some like little Easter eggs in there for Neversoft and stuff, and Extinction was, I don't know, Extinction was just great. That's basically, I remember just the first time playing Extinction that I had, and I finally beat, like the first time I beat Point of Contact, I was like, okay, this is going to go somewhere. For sure, this is going somewhere. And the DLCs kept going, and it got better and better and better, and then they kind of dropped the ball, but it was still fun, at least for me. It was still fun and interesting. And and by the end of COD Ghost, I was like, there has to be a sequel to this. And sure enough, Infinite Warfare comes out, and we have Zombies, which in my personal opinion was pretty good, but and then DLC 4 brought Extinction into the mix, into Zombies. And I remember, because at the time I paid attention to IW Zombies up until around DLC 3, and then I kind of dropped off of it for DLC 4, and I never really watched anything on it. But I remember seeing the DLC 4 trailer and just like kind of like just getting really sad, because I was like, well, how are they going to make an Extinction sequel if they want to, with them adding the whole Willard Wyler made the movie about Extinction, and Extinction is just a movie. And like, in my opinion, that is one of the dumbest things Infinity Ward could have done with Extinction. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do make a sequel and have a way better thing for it, but just like, even with that backstory, I'm not saying Extinction can't be good, but just the story would be just lost. The story would, in my opinion, would just go haywire and be something crazy complex like the regular like Call of Duty Treyarch zombie storyline. And I just don't think that would be good for Extinction, but I've done enough rambling. I'd say that Extinction just in general was fun. I loved this game. It was great. In my opinion, it didn't really have a lot of flaws. Like they kind of dropped the ball during DLC 3 and 4, but still, regardless, Extinction overall was a fun game mode, and I just hope to God that Infinity Ward makes a sequel to this, because it just needs it. It needs a sequel, because I want Infinity Ward to manage to show people what they can do with, with Extinction, not just Extinction itself, but just their creativity. Just for the fact that people kind of, people thought Ghost was okay, but it was really memed, and then Infinite Warfare was a game that literally nobody touched. And then, I just want Infinity Ward to get back on the ball. Hopefully Modern Warfare is just amazing. I hope Modern Warfare is good, because Infinity Ward deserves some rep back, in my opinion. But, so basically, yeah, the final note of Extinction is just, it was fun. I had fun, my friends had fun. Getting all the gameplay for it was a blast. I love replaying Point of Contact for this. And, just everything was beautiful, man. I loved it. It was great. So guys, that is going to be the video. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Back on Duty on Call of Duty Ghosts. I plan on doing these on all the other Call of Duties that were released on the next-gen consoles, and then eventually I might go back to the old ones once I get a bit of recording set up. But anyways, guys, that has been the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave some feedback in the comments to, tell me what I should kind of improve on or anything. If there was any, if you felt like there was rambling, it's because I kind of wanted to, have a more just kind of a non-cut, just me speaking from, my brain and kind of my heart's feelings about the game without filtering it in any way, making it sound kind of, just manufactured and stuff. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.